Welcome back to HQ. Heading into week 4, Trevor Lawrence owned the longest losing streak in the NFL dating back to last season. He'd lost 8 straight. Well, you can make it 9 now after his team lost another one, this time at the hands of the Texans. Houston wins a close one at home, 24-20, thanks to a last-second score from Dare Ogunbowale. C.J. Stroud led the game-winning drive, throwing for 345 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win. After the game, Doug Peterson was pressed about what's not working for his team in 2024. Here's what he had to say.
Start worrying about your status at this point.
My status?
Yeah. After an 0-4 start.
I mean, no. I mean, it's kind of a strange question, but okay.
Is there any chance you take the headset over just to change this thing up?
For what? I thought he called a great game. We, as coaches, we can't go out there and make the plays, right? It's a two-way street. So, you know, you guys can sit here and point the finger all you want, and that's fine. Point it right at me. I can take it. Okay? I can take it. So, whatever you want to ask me, say, whatever, write, go ahead.
You did tell us at your introductory news conference a couple of years ago, if it's not working, if it's not in rhythm, whether it's your plays or not, that you hand off the play calling. I mean, is it just one of those, maybe it's just a voice, a confidence? You guys were cooking when you were doing it, it looked like in 22.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll take it into consideration.
There's a lot to unpack there, so let's bring in our lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones, to discuss some of the latest headlines following week 4. JJ, you know we are starting with the Jaguars and that soundbite from Doug Peterson. It just seems like the seat's getting hotter and hotter for Doug as the weeks go on. The Jags are now 1-9 in their past 10 after starting 8-3 last year. We just heard Doug Peterson say, if you want to put the blame on somebody, put it on me, but clearly things are not working. What more can you tell us about the situation in Jacksonville?
Incredible sound bites, right, Haley? I mean, you can see the wheels turning in Doug's mind right there. And my status, why are you even questioning that? Well, you know, the team is 0-4. They've, you know, as you note, 1-9 in the last 10. And that one game was with C.J. Beathard at quarterback against the Carolina Panthers, the infamous David Tepper drink-throwing game. So that's been their one win against the worst team in football. You know, look, Doug has not thought that Press Taylor, the offensive coordinator, is the problem. If he did, he would have taken play-calling duties away from Press Taylor, someone that he wants to call these games. He does not view that as the issue. He said it right there, that the players have to make the plays. And clearly, Trevor Lawrence, at the head of this team, who literally had his name on the side of the building, who signed a record-setting deal in terms of most money ever paid to a franchise quarterback in Jacksonville Jaguars history, is not playing well. He is among the least accurate quarterbacks in the NFL so far this season. In fact, when you look at completion percentage over expected, he ranks just above Anthony Richardson as the least accurate quarterback in the NFL. The Jags at 0-4, you start 0-4, you usually don't make the playoffs. And obviously the Jaguars understand and know that, but they're trying to salvage what they have in this season. If you fire, let's go through all of this, Haley. If you fire Press Taylor as offensive coordinator, you don't have someone who is there week to week game planning. That is what Press Taylor does so well for Doug Peterson, as well as calling the game. If you fire both Doug and Press, you don't have an interim head coach. Right now, they really only have Mike McCoy on the staff. He's the quarterback's coach. He last coordinated an offense in 2018 for the Arizona Cardinals, which happened to be the worst offense in football before he was fired midway through the season. And also, if you make any of these moves at the quarter pole of the season, you have essentially said, that's it for this year. That's it for the $55 million quarterback in his first year of this contract. I know that things are very tense down in Jacksonville, that seats are warm, and we haven't even discussed general manager Trent Baalke, whose seat is very likely also warm. But there is no easy solve outside of the players, in my opinion, and it's with sources that I speak to, outside of the players playing better, and it starts with the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, it has just been a roller coaster. The Jags have the Colts, the Bears, and the Patriots over the next 3, but their bye doesn't come until the Week 12 portion of the schedule, so something's got to change quick because, like you said, 0-4, not a great start there. Let's jump over to the AFC East. The Patriots dropped to 1-3 after losing to the 49ers yesterday. We had a chance to hear from Drake Maye about what is going on. It kind of sounds like they're going to continue to protect Drake Maye behind a shaky offensive line, which means Jacoby Brissett is going to get the start next week. What do you make of the situation happening up in New England?
I'm not surprised at all. There's nothing about this that surprises me. And in fact, the thing that does surprise me is everyone's amazement that Drake Maye still isn't coming in to the game, that he's still not given the opportunity to start. We all knew in the preseason, we knew when he was drafted by the New England Patriots that Jacoby Brissett was going to start at the beginning of the season. And then as we got into training camp, while Drake Maye did impress the Patriots, both at practice and one could argue outplayed Brissett in the preseason, Drake Maye has said time and again that this is about what's best for the Patriots today as well as the future of the Patriots. So that makes very clear that they are not wanting to rush out Drake Maye. You can call it learning behind Jacoby Brissett. You can call it protecting Drake Maye because it is a shaky offensive line. I will also say this, because while the offensive line has not played well, and frankly, this is one of the least talented groups out there because of so many misses in the draft and free agency, Jacoby Brissett's also not really holding up his end of the bargain either. He hasn't been playing well. He's been missing some throws and some open receivers as well. So it is no surprise to anyone that the Patriots right now are 1-3. Did we think that they were going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals week 1? No. Did we think that they were going to be one of the bottom tier teams in the NFL heading into the 2024 season? We absolutely did. And so when are we ultimately going to see Drake Maye? It'll probably be later in the year. I don't think it's imminent. Will he come in garbage time? Maybe. They did that last week. They didn't do it on Sunday. But Drake Maye continues to tell us all the truth, that he's going to keep playing Jacoby Brissett and that he's going to keep protecting Drake Maye for the betterment of Drake Maye and his career and his tenure. So I'm going to listen to Drake Maye when he tells us exactly what I'm seeing in front of our eyes.
Yeah, and to your point, New England was held to its fewest pass yards through 4 games since 1987. They only had 449. They do get the Dolphins at home in the upcoming week, so we'll see if things shift with what's going on in the Dolphins. We don't have time to get into that, but we do have some time to get into the reigning champs, the Chiefs. They've been winning, but they haven't been pretty this season. Now they've lost another star on the offense, with Rashee Rice expected to miss some time after that knee injury in the first quarter. So if you're keeping up at home, that's now Rice, Hollywood Brown, and Isaiah Pacheco all out for this explosive Kansas City Chiefs offense. How do they move forward without those key pieces?
You hear it all the time, Haley, around the NFL, right? Next man up. Well, you know, you keep saying that, but you're down Hollywood Brown. And now you're very likely going to be down Rashee Rice for the rest of the year. We're still awaiting the MRI results, but it clearly did not look good. The Chiefs have braced for it to be an ACL. Typically, those tests that you can do before you ever get an MRI will confirm more or less that it is an ACL. So if they fear that, that is very, very likely what it is. Those things said, you're starting to look like a Chiefs team that reminds me a little bit of where the Chiefs were last year around Christmas after that Raiders game, right? Where, man, no one is coming in to save these Chiefs because it was after the trade deadline. Well, Haley, this year's calendar has the trade deadline 5 weeks and 1 day away. The Chiefs can acquire someone. They can go out and get someone, but it is just week 4. Tomorrow will be week 5. Teams don't typically trade quality wide receivers at the quarter pole part of the season. That just doesn't really happen. Teams still have faith that they can make a run. And so if you want to put together a graphic with all these potential trade candidates, right, all these wide receivers, if you want to say an Amari Cooper, if you want to go with a Cooper Kupp, a Christian Kirk, we can kind of keep going down the list. DeAndre Hopkins, guys who are on teams that right now are not successful. Maybe that will continue. Maybe those players will be traded. But it's not going to happen right now. And if anyone trade to wide receiver to the Kansas City Chiefs, the price is going to be high because they know what the Kansas City Chiefs are attempting to do, getting that three-peat with the Super Bowl. The last team and the last player that I would ever anticipate going to Kansas City this week, next week, or at any point over the next 5 weeks and 1 day would be Davante Adams. The Raiders are not going to trade Davante Adams to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I just want a league-wide announcement here. Nobody send any of their stars to KC. Can we please get someone else to win a Super Bowl? Oh, JJ. And they still have the shortest odds to win it at plus 500. We saw on that graphic there. The Chiefs are always in the mix. Hey, you can catch more of JJ every Sunday morning as our NFL Today crew counts you down to kickoff. JJ always brings the energy. I love his segments that he has. You can check them out on his Instagram as well. But make sure you check out NFL Today, Sundays at 12 o'clock Eastern on CBS.